Minglawa, welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin, and we've got the latest news and reports. Lutto representatives discussed the report of National Education Policy Commission. When traffic congestion and public transportation is concerned, with the growing population, MRT, mass rapid transport, to become one of the key solutions to solve urban traffic congestion. A story coverage on National Export Strategy 2020 to 2025 project, Myanmar GDP to expand 7.1% the next 5 years. And the last report focusing on China asking for solidarity and cooperation in controlling the spread of coronavirus. We'll definitely get to the reports in a while, but before that, let's take a look at some local news. President of the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, U Win Myint, has sent a message of sympathy on Monday to President of the People's Republic of China, Xi Jinping, for the loss of lives due to the recent outbreak of the 2019 nCoV virus epidemic in Wuhan, the People's Republic of China. In his message, the president expressed his belief that under the able leadership of President Xi Jinping, along with the solidarity of the Chinese people and its advanced medical technology, the People's Republic of China will be able to successfully contain the outbreak of the epidemic and overcome the difficulties at the shortest possible time. Moreover, Myanmar also expresses its readiness to work with China in finding ways to overcome this virus outbreak, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Union Minister for Health and Sports Dr. Mien Tue presided over a meeting of health authorities on monitoring and preventive measures against 2019 novel coronavirus held in Naypyidaw Tuesday. Officials discussed update announcements of the World Health Organization, the possible transmission rate of virus calculated by international experts, trial treatments on respiratory disease caused by the 2019 novel coronavirus in China and other countries, detailed analysis on the spread of 2019 and COV from the epidemiological perspective, and tightening monitoring measures. Health service personnel also discussed activities of monitoring teams at 3 international airports of the country and 20 border checkpoints in 10 townships of 4 states and/or regions. Reduction of daily flight landings from China from 26 to 2, 1 from Shanghai and 1 from Hong Kong. Medical services for suspected patients and persons under investigation and collaboration with private hospitals and clinics. The Union Minister advised making adequate response to prevent the 2019 novel coronavirus, a suggestion of WHO to quash rumors on the disease and real-time information of the ministry on its website and social network page. He also suggested the use of a dashboard format for public information about the spread of disease, taking specimens for laboratory tests and working with the National Health Laboratory. According to the Myanmar Opium Survey 2019 report released in Naypyidaw Tuesday morning, Myanmar has seen a decline in opium cultivation in 2019 to 33,100 hectares, which is over 11% drop from 37,300 hectares in 2018. Deputy Minister for Home Affairs Major General Aung Thu said Myanmar's opium cultivation and production continued dropping since 2014. The major opium cultivation areas in Myanmar were mountainous remote states of Shan, Kachin, Kaya and Chin, according to the survey. The Deputy Minister added the government is implementing infrastructural and socio-economic development programs in fighting against opium cultivation and production in coordination with private business firms and international organizations. Well, that's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. On the third day of the second Pidangsu Lutto's 15th regular session, the Lutto representatives discussed the report of the National Education Policy Commission for 6-month work from April to September 2019 from various perspectives. That's what's in reports.
National Education Policy Commission (NEPC) has submitted their report on 6-month work from April to September 2019 to the Pidangsu Lutto. The work report includes the policy making, suggestion papers, and research development, and cooperation with international organizations. Concerning the work report of the NEPC, the Lutto representatives discussed their perspectives on the third day of the second Pidangsu Lutto's 15th regular session. It was mentioned in the report that the Commission has made the observation on the school upgrading system and analyzed 3,358 upgraded schools.
In the
report, the school upgrading system was mentioned, and during 4 years, starting from 2016 to 2017 academic year, total 200,454 schools were upgraded. It can be found out that the primary school branch are at least 3 miles away in the plain areas and at least 2 miles away in areas with difficult transportation. For the KG students, it is not easy to go to schools which are very far from their homes. So I want to suggest along the village schools which already have the enough infrastructures to be upgraded to the primary school branch.
The Commission also highlighted the insufficient numbers of teachers and suggested upgrading the trainings for primary school teachers to 1-year diploma courses. And it also advocated opening the Department of Education and Technology or similar ones in relevant universities, which the postgraduate students can join for further career as teachers.
We need to make sure to have enough teachers and at the same time to reinforce their qualification. So I want to welcome the suggestion of the committee to open Department of Educational Technology or similar ones in relevant universities.
With regard to the public schools, the report of the NEPC mentioned that the Commission has met with the public schools of higher education for registration, ranking, and termination processes. And National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Committee has got the agreement to distribute the survey questionnaire.
Awarding body, regulatory website.
I want to suggest that the Commission should inform the public concerning the public schools of higher education by observing their connection with the respective countries through the awarding body and regulator of the schools. Myanmar embassies in foreign countries are willing to join to analyze the public schools from the respective countries. So I want to raise a question to the Commission whether there is plan for public announcement of the analysis of the public schools of higher education, which are already established and which are to be launched soon.
The report also focused on technological and vocational institute, entrepreneurship education, procedures for National Institute for Higher Education Development, and curriculum and teachers' guide upgrading. That's all for now. This is Dora Susan reporting from MI Radio.
That's a report on the Little Representatives' discussion on the report of National Education Policy Commission. All right, it's time now to check on the weather forecast in Myanmar. It's beautiful weather in Yangon and we're getting plenty of sun during the day, while the night will be clear. The highest temperature for the day will be at 34 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 16 degrees Celsius. In Naypyidaw, it's mostly sunny during the day, while the night will have clear skies with partly cloudy conditions. The highest temperature for the day will be at 32 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 12 degrees Celsius. Delightful weather with abundant sunshine in Mandalay during the day, but the night sky will be clear. The highest temperature for the day will be at 30 degrees Celsius and the lowest will be at 12 degrees Celsius. We're back to our reports now and we'll check on the stocks and currency exchange rates after this report. With a growing population, the Mass Rapid Transport (MRT) system is expected to become one of the key solutions to solve urban traffic congestion. It's learned that the public transport network for Yangon was established targeting about 1 to 3 million population. However, with Yangon's population exceeding 5 million, traffic congestion has become one of the daunting issues the commercial city is facing. Agajo will tell us more.
With the population exceeding 5 million, the commercial city Yangon is facing traffic congestion issue like any other developing nations. Myanmar Railway stressed the crucial role the mass rapid transport system will play for Yangon on February 4th at the press meeting in the Yangon Central Railway Station. According to the experts' survey, the MRT will take an increasingly bigger role to meet the transportation need of the commuters in Yangon region. With that objective in place, the Myanmar Railways, in collaboration with the departments concerned, is in a bid to upgrade the rail network in the region as well as across the country. AUNG, General Manager of Myanmar Railways, explained why and how the MRT development will be of help for the public transport sector in Yangon.
A zoning plan.
Currently, the trains are running in a conventional system. Being conventional, there are a great deal of level crossings which impedes the speed and efficiency of the rail services. So with a growing population, the conventional public transport will fall short, and that will lead to heavier traffic and larger crowds on vehicles. That will revoke the need of urban transport development. For a slightly lesser number of people, light rail transit (LRT) is adequate. But if it keeps growing to a large number, we will have to execute the zoning plan, and for the main crossing, we will need to implement the MRT system. That's the only solution in countries facing traffic congestions. In addition to that, for the countries with very high population, the subway system takes the center place. So, to simplify, if the conventional public transport falls short, the mass transport such as MRT and subway steps in.
Mass Rapid Transit (MRT), also known as heavy rail, metro, subway, tube, underground, is a type of high-capacity public transport generally found in urban areas. Unlike buses or trams, rapid transit systems are electric railways that operate on an exclusive right-of-way which cannot be accessed by pedestrians or other vehicles of any sort, and which is often grade separated in tunnels or on elevated railways. Light rail transit system of railways, usually powered by overhead electrical wires and used for medium capacity local transportation in metropolitan areas. Light rail vehicles (LRVs) are a technological outgrowth of streetcars. Light rail transit lines are more segregated from street traffic than are tramways, but less so than are rapid transit heavy rail lines. AUNG also added his comment on the rail network upgrade.
The rail network is supposed to be maintained on a monthly or yearly basis, despite which the insufficient budget allocation does not allow the upgrade for years, and now the upgrade needs to touch on the entire rail network, and it happens to be a big project.
The circular train in Yangon carries some 73,000 commuters daily, and it is in the process of upgrading. The upgrade of the circular railways has covered 84% of the entire system so far. Woo Zolwin, traffic manager for the number 7 division of Myanmar Railway said.
Once completed, the upgraded circular railway is projected to carry 260,000 commuters daily. Currently, it is conveying 73,000 commuters on a daily basis. The entire circular train journey takes 2 hours and 15 minutes, and the upgraded circular railway is expected to take only 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete one journey.
The project is set to be implemented over the period of 2016 and 2017 fiscal year to 2021 and 2022 fiscal year. It is also learned the civil engineering project is projected to cost 54 billion Myanmar kyats and $207 million for DEMU and the new railway signaling system. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
With a growing population, we obviously need a more practical and effective solution for transportation. Hence, MRT, mass rapid transport, to become one of the key solutions to solve urban traffic congestion. And now we have information on currency rates from Myanmar's central bank. $1 is at 1,449 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 207 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,602 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,882 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,057 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 352 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 46 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 20 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,556. Silver is at $17, and Brent crude oil is at $50. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI remains at 11,500. MTSH is at 4,100. MCB is at 8,400. FPB is at 23,500. TMH dropped 50 and it's at 2,800. Yo, with that, my readers, Myanmar Today. If you want to watch or listen to more programs from our station, you can just visit our website, myradio.com.mm, or tune in to 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. But of course, if you prefer to have it within your grasp, you can download our app on both iOS and Android platforms. Search by typing Myanmar INTL Radio and you'll find the app. Download it on your devices so you can listen to our radio shows on the go. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Myanmar is supposed to expand the country's economic growth to 7.1% within the next 5 years, and the National Export Strategy 2020-2025 has been considered to develop the potentials for trade development and to be a new and sustainable economic cycle. Officials announced the highlighted industries in the NES 2020-2025 project at the press conference held in Yangon last Friday. The NES focus industries were selected based on quantitative and qualitative analyses to ensure existing industries' benefits. Yena and Pyothiritu report.
Myanmar is supposed to expand country economic growth to 7.1% within the next 5 years. And the National Export Strategy 2020-2025 has been considered to develop the potentials for trade development and to be a new and sustainable economic cycle. The National Export Strategy NES 2020-2025 design process was initiated on 15 March 2019 by Vice President U Mien Sui and Minister for Commerce Dr. Tan Mien at the first NES Symposium. The NES was supposed to set out specific priority actions and investments to modernize trade systems for improved efficiency. It will also provide a targeted action-oriented framework for exporters in regional and global trade. AUNG, Deputy Minister for Commerce, said.
In the year of 2020 to 2025, new eras, one of the things is that we will perform the processes in the way of inclusiveness. It means not only from the central government level, but also from the state and regional level can include in the strategy process. To perform the strategic planning efficiently, we are trying to form a board for export growth. We are implementing this export strategy because we aim that the main drive for our country's economy is based on the export-oriented growth. Depending on the resources and productivity of our country, we will expand the sectors for exporting agricultural products, hotel and tourism industry.
The NES will also support the development of new exporters while backing the traditional export industries. The official also announced the highlighted sectors in the NES 2020-2025 projects to implement for the next 5 years on Friday at the press conference held in Yangon. The NES focus industries were selected based on quantitative and qualitative analysis to ensure existing industries' benefits. Also, Director General Myanmar Trade Promotion Organization said.
In the first 5 years project, the National Export Strategy 2020-2025, we will highlight and implement the electricity industry, Myanmar textile and garment industry, forest products, agricultural products, digital products and services, as well as fishery products. We will keep supporting the traditional export industry like rice, oil, beans, rubber industries, and access to finance sector, fruit and vegetable sector, gems and jewelry sector, floral industry and handicraft industry too. The first National Export Strategy 2015 and 2019 was successful, even though we cannot tell that we can rival with other countries in exporting and we can implement the strategy systematically. The first 5 years project makes us a momentum to run the economic cycle, and we have to keep undertaking the strategic projects in the next 5 years and then another next 5 years without relying on the government support. Before that, the government, the public, and the private sectors are going to cooperate in implementing.
Dr. Mamoli, Vice President of UMFCCI, said,
In cooperation with the government and the private sectors, the UMFCCI will try and discuss the solutions to solve the market difficulties, quality management, and transportation difficulties. The UMFCCI will take a leading role to connect with broader economic associations in the implementation of the NES as the long-term project.
The NES 2020-2025 is accompanied by the Ministry of Commerce MOC and the Union of Myanmar Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry UMFCCI, and it is supposed to be the MSMEs of Myanmar with final beneficiaries.
That's a report on the National Export Strategy 2020-2025 project, Myanmar GDP to expand 7.1% in the next 5 years. And here's the last report on China asking for solidarity and cooperation in controlling the spread of coronavirus. In order to inform the current situations of the novel coronavirus and explain the procedures of the Chinese government to control the spread of the virus, the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Myanmar invited the media to Chinese ambassador's residence in Yangon. Dora will tell us more.
Hello everyone, this is your reporter Dora reporting you from MI Radio. It has been more than a month that the first infection of novel coronavirus was diagnosed in Wuhan city of China, and the Chinese government, together with the international community, trying the best to control the spread of the virus. On 4 February, the Embassy of the People's Republic of China in Myanmar initiated the press conference at the ambassador's residence in Yangon. The purpose is to inform the Chinese government's procedures and preventive measures to control the virus and the current situation in China. The press conference was led by the Minister Counselor from Chinese Embassy to Myanmar, Ms. Li Xiaoyan, who explained about the 5 main procedures that Chinese government is currently putting into efforts.
疫情发生以来呢，中国领导人高度重视，非常关心疫情的发展和患者。
She mentioned that one of the procedures is to find the source of virus and advance the medical technologies to find the solution. For the record, the Chinese medical team found the virus named pathogen, which caused the novel coronavirus during a week of outbreak. Also recently, the researcher from Chinese Academy of Engineering successfully produced the virus species to create the vaccine strain. She also added that although they found the way to create the vaccine for the coronavirus, it will take 1.5 months to produce it and another 1.5 months to identify it. She also mentioned that another important procedure is to prevent and control over the spread of the virus. As Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping announced to take the robust measures to control the spreading of the virus, the whole country is taking the strong control and preventive measures in many cities of China, including the epicenter of the outbreak, Wuhan City, and also the big cities like Beijing and Shanghai, to completely get the control of the virus. Currently, Chinese government mandated a full quarantine on the Wuhan city starting from 23rd January and including other 31 provinces and municipalities. Ms. Li also mentioned at the press conference about the cure of the disease and the reducing of death rate. She mentioned that the curing process is now the combination of Chinese traditional medicine and Western medicine together with the 4 policies of treatment.
The virus has its epidemic of spread and infection, but we are making our best efforts to control that. And most of the diseased patients are at old age, and most of them already have the other disease in their body. That's why.
There are about 60,000 medical workers currently in Wuhan City to fight against the virus and building the 2 exclusive hospitals in a short time, which are start opening on 2nd February and 5th February respectively. For the record, till the midnight of 3rd February, there are 396 patients who are successfully cured of the coronavirus in the Hubei province of China.
正如我刚才说的，中国需要世界的团结和支持。希望在座的各位缅甸的媒体。
At the end of the press conference, Ms. Li Xiaoyan also mentioned that China also needs for solidarity and cooperation of the international communities to fight against the virus. She mentioned that Myanmar President U Win-myint sent a letter to Chinese President Mr. Xi Jinping by expressing how he believed that China can soon control over the virus with the advanced technologies, and Myanmar as a friendly neighbor will support China in finding ways to solve these difficulties together. According to the press release, currently there are more than 20,000 infection cases, 425 deaths, and 632 patients successfully cured of the virus. Ms. Li Xiaoyan expressed,
with the instructions of the leaders of our Communist Party in China and the unity and cooperation of the people, we believe that we can successfully go through this problem soon.
Okay, so that's all about the report now. This is your reporter daughter reporting you from MI Radio, and see you again.
And that's all the reports on Myanmar Today. Now, as we all know, the world is being struck with a health crisis, climate change at its peak, animals dying at an alarming rate, and things are escalating so quickly that I believe we should keep up with the news from around the globe. So let's take a turn to some international news and find out what's happening around the world. The Japanese health minister said on Wednesday 10 passengers on a Japanese cruise carrying 3,711 people tested positive for novel coronavirus. The Diamond Princess cruise ship has been kept in quarantine off the coast of Yokohama since an 80-year-old passenger from Hong Kong was discovered to have contracted the coronavirus. The health minister said 273 people who had close contact with the passenger were tested, and all 10 confirmed patients were being sent to medical organizations. As of Wednesday morning, there have been 30 confirmed novel coronavirus cases in Japan. The research team of Li Lenzhuan, one of China's leading scientists in the fight against the novel coronavirus, announced a major breakthrough on Tuesday, China's Changjiang Daily reported. Preliminary tests showed that 2 drugs, Abidol and darunavir, can effectively inhibit the virus in vitro cell experiments, according to Li, who is also a professor at Zhejiang University. She has brought medical personnel from East China's Zhejiang province to Central China's Hubei province, hoping to enhance the emergency treatment of newly infected patients. The professor said that the anti-HIV drug Kalizi, which is currently being used, is not very effective and has side effects. She recommended the 2 new drugs to be included in the National Health Commission's treatment program of the novel coronavirus caused pneumonia. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, on Tuesday calling for greater solidarity of the world, said the strong measures taken by China at the epicenter of the new coronavirus outbreak have prevented significant spread abroad, providing a window of opportunity to halt transmission. Tedros pointed out, it's important to underline that 99% of the cases are in China and 97% of the deaths are in Hubei province. The WHO will continue to work closely with the Chinese government to support its efforts to address the coronavirus outbreak at the epicenter. Tedros also reiterated his call for countries not to impose travel and trade restrictions because of the virus. Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Goodbye now.